Good evening. A little bit later tonight because I went out and played 9 holes of golf up at Tri Mountain Golf Course today. Beautiful day. We hit 55 degrees. I forecasted 53, a little bit warmer. 35 this morning, hit my low exactly on the button, and the average came out to be for the mean temperature, high and low, 3 degrees below normal, which brings me to this giant number that we begin with. 22 consecutive days of the mean temperature out at PDX averaging below normal. We're now more than 3 weeks solid with every single day getting a minus for below normal. Minus, minus, minus. And this stretch potentially continues the rest of this week. So this is a long, impressive stretch of what happens to be a cool weather trend this time around. This was a pretty shot of partly cloudy skies earlier this afternoon from the Oregon Garden Resort out in Silverton, part of my live camera network that you can see on my weather site, portlandweather.com. But we'll keep track of the days. Tomorrow should easily become day 23. All right. What's going on? So I'm going to get into California snow in a moment, do some more comparisons with the Sierra and the Cascades, and also get into a closer look at what the drought situation is in both states, Oregon down into California. This is the satellite picture. This fetch of cloudiness continues to be the jet stream, just continuing to ram into California. It was more in the northern California. Now it shifted south into southern California. We fed off of the low pressure system that was on the northern side of this. That's the system that gave us that record rain on Monday. Today, I thought we might have some showers or some spotty showers early this morning up around Astoria and Long Beach, and that was about it. Otherwise, we've been dry. This new low here is going to weaken as it comes inland, but it gives us a reasonable chance of some scattered showers overnight tonight. For most of us, that would come 11 o'clock or after midnight. And then probably some shower activity on radar when you wake up tomorrow morning. But I think that fizzles out, and much of the day tomorrow goes on to be dry. This second system back here is going to hold up, and we still have a sunny, warm Thursday expected. So interesting, by the way, you have to zoom in, which we're not going to do right now, but we were just on the outside of that cloud shield from that low that did kick some snow up into southern Oregon today as well. Anyway, that's what's going on with the latest weather flow. And the big story there locally is we have this chance of getting some scattered showers later tonight. Okay, I've got 3 cameras loaded up for you. These are all Department of Transportation cameras. And I want to make the point that if you are traveling down into California, some of you have been contacting me with all the concerns of weather. Generally, I-5 has been okay down through the Siskiyou Summit, down through Mount Shasta, and all the way into Sacramento. The problem area has been I-80, which runs between Reno and Sacramento. So here's I-5 down in the Mount Shasta area. This was this afternoon. I think there was a temperature. Yeah, it was 42. Well, the high was 42. That was earlier today. That was just wet. Even the Siskiyou Summit, which is 42.89 in elevation, you can see a little slush on the roads, but that was 32 degrees when I grabbed the shot about noon today, and that was mainly just wet and slushy. Now this one is I-80 Donner Summit. Again, that's the high point between Reno and Sacramento. Temperature 36 degrees. That wasn't bad today. That was with storm conditions coming in. But that's I-80. And that is one lane of traffic going east and one lane of traffic going west. And it's tough to tell by this angle, but I'm telling you, there's a tunnel of snow that's basically plowed on either side of that highway. There are other cameras that look even more dicey. So that is the concern overall in terms of interstate highways in California right now. It's I-80. It's just been really, really slow going. Okay, I hope you'll find this interesting. So I'm somewhat familiar with the Tahoe area and the Northern Sierra because I worked in Reno as a weather forecaster back in the early 1990s. So this is Sugar Bowl Resort. It's a little resort that's off of I-80 in the Donner Summit area. This was off of their website today. Kind of fun to look at all the snow that was kind of scooped around the picnic tables there. But get this. So if you measure every snowfall that has fallen, a snowflake that has fallen going back to October 1. Now, a lot of that has melted, right? But we do keep track of every snowflake that falls for the entire season, even though that melts from time to time. So that season snowfall is approaching 700 inches, 688 as of I just checked the update before I started to record. At their ski lodge, they have a base, if you stuck a ruler down into the snow, of 251 inches on the ground. So how does that compare with here at home? Well, here's a shot, really pretty shot, off one of the webcams earlier today from Mount Hood Meadows. This is at the top looking down. There's the parking lot and the lodge. Really beautiful view. So Meadows, not bad. 425 inches total snow has fallen since October 1. I mean, that pales to the 688. And the current base is not bad, 148 if you stick a ruler down. But again, that pales to the 251 that they have in the Sierra. So kind of a fun, back and forth. Again, our snowpack has been running about 90% of normal around Mount Hood. The Sierra snowpack is anywhere from 150% to 300% of normal, depending on which specific site that you look at. That is mainly the Tahoe Basin that I'm talking about. Okay, I showed you this picture yesterday, but it hasn't really changed. So I thought if you missed yesterday's report, this does talk about our water year up on Mount Hood. Snow depth where they measure at 132 inches on the ground. If you melted that off, whoa. Sometimes my monitor catches my sleeve and it gets too jumpy. If you melted all of that, you'd have 44 inches of stored water, and that's 91% of average today. That's not bad, right? I mean, 9% off normal, and it still looks like we're going to have a good snow month up there overall, at least into mid-April. So that news is good. Okay, this is the latest update from NOAA, or the National Weather Service, what they call the Drought Monitor. Again, some of you have been asking about this. We touched on this a couple weeks ago. This news is really pretty good. So where you see no color on the map, white, that's nothing. We're not dry. We're not in drought. Almost all of California was in some sort of drought, and much of the state before this winter was in extreme to exceptional drought. So all of that's been wiped out. If you look at the legend, the yellow areas are still considered dry, but not in drought. And then you get into the tan areas of Northern California, moderate dry, and then that darker tan area of Northern California is severe drought. So they got some good rain and snow in Northern California today, so that's good news. This is still drought, but it's really the only part of the state that has any significant drought reading going on in a widespread area. So California really looking much better for the first time in years. Now here's Oregon. Notice, and this has actually changed in just the last couple of weeks. So if you go back to this drought, if you look up in Washington State, it's really great, right? Washington State, either no drought at all or yellow, which is considered abnormally dry. But technically right now, no part of Washington is in drought. So, hey, that's great, right? Not as great of news in Oregon. See how a lot of us are in that one kind of brown tan area? That's still considered moderate drought, blanketing a good chunk of Oregon. And then the extreme, the red color here, which is extreme to exceptional drought. The bullseye of the worst of these conditions is Crook County. That's kind of east central Oregon, if you will. Prineville, one of the better well-known towns in Crook County. So I just grabbed this and I screen grabbed it. I thought I'd read it to you. All or a portion of Crook County has been classified as having exceptional drought. That's the worst, right? Conditions, exceptional drought conditions going all the way back to early July of 2021. So coming up on 2 straight years this July. The standardized precipitation evapotranspiration index, a metric to measure drought conditions, indicates the 36-month average ending in January of this year, 2023, is by far the worst on record. So again, this is bad news for that part of central to east central Oregon. And there's been other climate talk that this doesn't seem to be improving. And then you get into that discussion of, is it still considered a drought, or do we reclassify the climate? If you reclassify the climate, then you label it much more arid, and then it actually gets removed from drought status, if that makes sense, okay? So, but that's still the one part of our state that's really been bad. Okay, I hope you find this interesting. I think it's pretty interesting to talk about. Let's get you in your forecast. Scattered showers come in overnight tonight, again, mostly after midnight here in the valley. And some scattered stuff Wednesday morning. We're definitely talking about less than 1/10 of an inch of total rain in any one given spot. Most spots probably are more like a trace to 5/100. So a little bit of rain, but not much. Let me slide over. We still think Thursday will at least be 57 and maybe hit 60 degrees with plenty of sun. So Thursday still a go. That forecast has not changed. Here's the Mount Hood numbers. By the way, there's no strong weather system between now and the weekend. So basically, we may get an inch or two on Mount Hood tomorrow. We go dry on Thursday, and there's either a little dab or not much of some snow shower activity through the weekend. So none of that's earth shattering. Snow levels, for the most part, continue to be up into the Cascades, which has been one of the big stories we've been following. The snow levels, come on. The snow levels have definitely tended to go up. Okay, why is my map not changing? Let's see if I can get it to move. Is it going to move? Is it going to move? I have to get you to the 7-day forecast. Oh, this is horrible. Let me, all right, stay. All right, bear with me. All right, tomorrow, AM showers, a few of them scattered about, then we're dry in the afternoon. 53, I mean, today was what, 55? We're going to be close to today. There's Thursday. Could be frosty fog in the morning. If we don't get hung up in fog, we have plenty of sun, and that could get us up to 60, forecasting 58. Friday's dry in the morning, a late day or evening shower chance, and then the scattered showers. None of this looks to be strong, and certainly I do expect some sun breaks on Saturday and Sunday. But every single one of these days, if those temperatures are correct, would average below normal. So that pattern, today was what, day 22? Tomorrow would be day 23. Even a warm Thursday would be day 24 because of the cold start. So there you go. Okay, hit subscribe if you haven't to become part of my community here on YouTube. You'll get notified when I post these videos. I usually do them 5 to 6 days a week. That helps me out. Tell your friends about it. My weather site's portlandweather.com. And I thank you for listening.